All right, YouTube, we have the Penn Battle 4 on a 5,000. I ordered these rods and this one came damaged. They sent me another one, no problem. They told me I could keep this one, so we're gonna fix it. And I'm gonna show you how to fix it. What happened was, I think it was in a bind. This is held still and the handle got turned and it probably broke the, I believe it's called the crosswind gear. And this gear right here, it's supposed to look like this, with a notch on it. You see that notch right there? And we can see that. And right here, this one doesn't have it no more because it was broken off when I opened the reel. I'm gonna show you exactly how to replace it though and where it goes. Next, we're gonna start taking off the screws, take off the cap. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. We're gonna take these out. Okay, now that I got these 4 screws pretty much all the way out, we're gonna take them off. And this one right here is gonna be on our bottom screw. I didn't show that on camera, but it's gonna be right there at the bottom. That's gonna be your 5th screw. It's just a little smaller. Now that the screws are gone, I'm gonna take this off. That exposes everything you need here. And what you're gonna need to do now, what I would do is take off this bearing so you don't lose anything. Behind the bearing, you do have some little washer type things. Make sure they don't fall out, and they do put them back the same way they came out. So very carefully take this out, and you got a couple of washers there, like little gold washers. There's 2 more in here. Just gonna put those back on the bearing so they go back in there the same way they came out. Next, you're gonna have these 2 screws right here. That's what makes it go up and down, up and down. You can see how that would make the spool go up and down. That's what wasn't working on my reel. So we're going to take this off now. Okay, now the screws are loosened up. We're going to pull them out. 2 small screws. This releases what's called the block. We can't get it out just yet. What happens is those screws come right here. You pull this stick out, it releases that. Those are where those screws would go in those holes. Now we're going to take off the handle so we can get the gear out of here. Release the handle. Once the handle is released, we should be able to take off the gear. Comes right out. And set that down. Now we're going to reinsert the gear, guys. So you're going to go halfway and not all the way in, so we can put the new crosswind gear in. We're going to stick it in there. Going to lay that down. That's the only way it's going to fit. It should line up with the other gears. It's going up and it's turning right there. So now we'll get the little retainer screw, stick that back in. I'm gonna tighten the retainer screw down. That'll make everything fall in together. That's tight. Main gear's back on there. I'm gonna install the block back on it. Turn this so we can get that little notch to the bottom. See, there's the notch. Stop it there. Retainer screw's gonna go, the block's gonna go lined up with that. Make sure that piece goes under that piece of metal. There we go, it's lined up now. Now we're going to drop this down into the block. It's lined up. Put our 2 little screws back through the block to hold that stick down. There's 1, and here's 2 coming in. There. My hand's blocking it, I'm sorry, but there we go right there. That's all we're doing is tighten down those 2 screws through the block that hold that stick. That's it for that right there. Now we're gonna go install the bearing back on there, make sure the little washers go back on the right way. That goes there. And now from here is the easy part. We just put everything back together, which would be the cap, your 4 screws here, your little cover for the bottom, your 5th screw here, and then we're going to install the cap and the handle. I got all 4 screws tied down. Then we put the bottom cap on. Your last little screw right here that goes in the bottom. The It holds the bottom in place. Go and tighten this down. And that's tightened down. I'm gonna reinstall our cap. I'm gonna reinstall the handle. I like my hand on the right side, that's why it's on the right side. And then we're gonna reinstall the spool back on top. Line it up, should fall right in place. We're gonna tighten up the drag that holds the spool down. The issue I was having is it was spinning and the spool was not going up and down, and that's gonna be the crosswind gear, either broken or worn out. I did replace one on a Fierce that was just worn out. You could barely tell, and it was making the spool just fall. It wouldn't crank up and down. And now we have a working reel. The spool goes up and down. Nice and smooth. Like I said, it was brand new. That part was just broken. I'd rather replace it and show a video on how to do it. Very simple to replace yourself. You don't have to wait for a repair shop.